Presidency, Ms. Satu Sikari Kevin, our dear respected Dr. Narong Krongpasert, Honorary Consul of Finland in Chiang Mai.
Invite the representative of ambassador to be here and to share the idea of Finland education. This was 3 years ago. We have been in this room. Yeah, that time the previous ambassador, Madame Kirsti Westphalen, has been here and present us about the Finland education.
University of Helsinki, and we also represent a company called Positive Learning, where we combine academic learning with well-being of both students and teachers. So it is really a great pleasure and honor to see you all here, and we were very happy to hear that we can keep an informal conversation, and we are ready for your questions, and we have learned a lot while being here in this very kind and highly capable school called Tonkla School. So we know something about your schooling systems, and we hope to be able to collaborate with you also in a close way in near future. And let me introduce you, my dear colleague, Satu is not here, but Pasi is sitting next to me, Pasi Kotilainen, the partner in our company.
Good morning, and nice to meet you all. Thank you for this lovely presentation. It was something that felt here nicely. We came here almost 2 weeks ago. We had 1 week in Bangkok, collaboration with the finest schools there, and now we are here. We have arrived here on Saturday, and we have been privileged to collaborate with Tonkla School, and we want to share our knowledge, but also learn from Thai culture, teachers and students all together. And we are hoping for a long-term relationship and collaboration with the institutes and colleges and schools of Thailand, and it's beautiful here in Chiang Mai, so we love it very much.
So please feel free to ask whatever you have in your mind concerning Finnish education and how we could be of help to you, and how we could promote collaboration with you, because that's why we are here. All teachers have a master's degree, so the level of teachers is high, and teachers in Finland have great autonomy. That means that they can do not just what they want to do in a classroom, but almost, as long as they follow the main curriculum given by the states, given by the municipality, and ultimately given by the school. But the schools also have great autonomy in deciding what they want to teach and how they want to achieve the goals originally set by the government. So great autonomy, free for all. And the comprehensive school that is mandatory for all students, it takes 9 years. After that, you can choose whether you want to follow an academic track or a vocational track. After that, you can apply for a place in a university. But if you choose the vocational track after the comprehensive school, it doesn't mean that you give up the academic track. Because if you have other ideas, as you know, young people may change their mind. They can still apply for the university career. So taking a vocational route early on is not a, so to say, dead end. But we strongly encourage all students to pursue academic goals. But what has become the very important issue nowadays in the Finnish culture and education is pursuing the strengths of heart, so to say, the soft skills. And we were very pleased to see in your video the presentation of your lovely school that you also honor these skills: being kind, being courageous, being creative, and having a lot of social skills and motivation, being trustworthy, and so forth. And this is something we're trying to implement in the Finnish curriculum quite heavily. So that is in the nutshell our educational route. But also I need to add that most of the students or most of the children in Finland attend preschool at the age of 1 or latest at the age of 3. Most of the children in Finland go to a kindergarten and they attend early childhood education. And also the quality of our early childhood education is high. The teachers have at least a bachelor's degree in all kindergartens in Finland, so that there is a smooth transition from the kindergarten to schools.
Thank you very much. Next question.
I think I'm live now.
Yeah.
I watched some video showing the background of Finnish education. It says something that in the past, the education is not that high from the beginning. It's just like maybe just in general. But then one day, the government decided they want to be down in the rank, so they changed something, and then finally it's rocket up. The question is, from the video it says that a week the students will learn only less than 20 periods a week, and then most of the time they will have free time to do things, no homework. So the question is that what is the secret? Can you use that time? We are having like 40 or more periods a week for the students to learn, but then you have less than half, but then you can produce more. So what is the secret?
Yes. First I can start and you can, continue. In fact, the results that came from the international study achievement tests, the results were quite surprising to us. We didn't realize that we were doing so well, because we criticized our education all the time, because there were students who were lagging behind, lots of students with special needs, and we were not very satisfied with our school. However, these results opened our eyes to see that there was something we were doing quite right. But the appreciation of the Finnish schools, it stems from the history, from the 16th century, from the very beginning of written Finnish language. And also I need to tell you that it is not a joke, but it is a truth that in the 17th century, we had a bishop. He came from Sweden, and he decided that every person in Finland should be able to read. So he gave a law. It was mandatory, totally obligatory for everybody to learn to read. And he said that no one was allowed to get married if they could not read. So you see, the motivation was there. And really this is an important thing to know, that there was this kind of really strict legislation. But of course, now things are different. You can easily get married without being able to read. We need to say it's not common. But there was not a sudden change, to answer your question. There were no sudden alterations in our curricula. But we realized that there were some things that were going right, and we pushed forward to pursue these objectives. But please, Pasi, go on and tell something more.
Yeah, one thing is I think it was also in that video that no child left behind. So we take care of everyone, not just the medium or the higher capabilities having. So we take care of everyone, and we have integrated all the students in one class, and of course of the teachers, higher education. They have tools for managing that kind of school. Also, you asked about the length of the school day. It might be 5 hours per day, and between every lesson there is a break. So after studying hard with math, you can go outside, you refresh, breathe fresh air, you clear your head, play with your friends, and then you are ready to go. And that is something that I think the kids and sometimes us as teachers, we don't appreciate that opportunity very much, because sometimes it's raining, it might be freezing, it's snow out there, but it feels good to come back. It gives a break from the whole day, and you ask about the homework, that Finland doesn't have homework. We do, we give, but it's not always the same. Every student doesn't actually have to do the same amount of exercises at home. It's related to the level of the student. Someone can have like one exercise and someone can do more, depending on the skills of the student. But I have been teacher for nearly 20 years, and I said that the most important thing when you go home, it isn't your homework. It's your family, your friends, and enjoying your life. So we take good care of student and teachers' well-being, because we learned also here that children like to play a lot, and I've heard many times here in Thailand that playing is actually learning, but it doesn't feel that the sound of it is more nicely. Go out and play with your friends, and actually you're learning about the social connections and leadership and how to talk to each other and kindness. So we have to have that kind of exercises. Thank you.
Excuse me. So I have one question for your education philosophy that I found in your education philosophy that Finland student, you mentioned that your soft skill, right? And then you try to avoid with the way to put the soft skill with avoid with the competition in your education learning. And in the actual in the world situation now, the world trend to I mean that try to competition with the trade war, digital, native, disruptive, and then how do you explain that your soft skill in your classroom or learning that avoid or disagree with that competition in classroom?
Yeah, thank you for your question. It is an important issue, but we know, and the research backs this is not just like imagination. There's a lot of research saying that when children and us adults, of course, as well, when we are feeling good, when we feel the safety, when we dare to learn, the learning takes place in its best form. We have like no restrictions in our mind, and when we know the strengths of heart, we know how to be with each other. Our self-confidence is backed. We are not afraid to be in the classroom. We are not stressed out. There's no like pressure to create burnout. So then we learn best, and it really we see that the more we have technology, digital tools, and this kind of like robotics and that kind of highly developed industrial and technological issues and machinery, the more we need the strengths that are not inherent in machines. So the more we need to develop and educate the mind and heart and the entity of a human being in order to wisely cope with technology and with all the advancements that it brings with us. But Pasi is a technology expert. Can you please go on in explaining this So why we need to there's no, it's not like biased that this is like the strength of your heart and this is technology, but we use our human skills in order to produce technological advancements as well.
Yeah, absolutely right, Lotta, thank you. As a teacher, I always try to say that you have to learn something that you can use. And sometimes the students ask me that, hey, you're teaching me this, why do I need it? And if I can't answer, I said, okay, I couldn't answer, let's forget it. Sometimes it happens so. So we have to teach values and ideas that we can use with in our life. And we can do something like dull, but if the machines can do it, let's build a machine that can do that for us. So we need the technology, and that way we have to be high on how to develop machines, how to do that. But like you said, the machines can't learn kindness, leadership, empathy, at least in few hundred years. Yeah, so that's why we are concentrating on those, and we believe that teaching these social emotional skills, they are the key to keep up with the competition against machines.
Sorry, can you? Sorry, I couldn't hear the first part, yes.
Okay, can you share us a little bit about the way that in the Finland education, how do you assess or evaluate your students?
Yes, thank you for the question. This is a question that's very often given to us. We don't test our children very heavily. There's actually only one standardized test in the whole school, and in the comprehensive school there is virtually no standardized tests. Perhaps one, but it's not very serious. And so it's not something that you need to prepare yourself like for the whole semester and like students be very afraid now the test comes. No, nothing like that. We do have tests, they are like scattered along the route throughout the school years, but not like ultimate final big grand tests that decide your future. Only one after the senior high school, when you're applying for the university. So only one like national standardized test will take place to assess them. Yes, it's very much based on the competence of the teachers, because they observe their students every day and they know how to do it. And of course they give tests and other group activities that can be evaluated. So the marks that will be put on their report cards is a summary of everything that happens in the classrooms, when they are talking, when they're showing their skills, but also what they gain in tests, and also how they may evaluate themselves. This is also something new in our curriculum and in our assessments, but the mark is, as we know, it's like put in one number everything that the student can do, and it's sometimes very unfair. And it is also something that we want to change. We want to give qualitative feedback of what the students can do. Pasi, would you like to continue?
Yeah, thank you. There's several different how to give evaluation and feedback. It has to be every day, every lesson. You are giving feedback. When you are giving feedback to the students, you are actually assessing them. You are telling how are you doing. And because our ideology is based on positive pedagogy. So we are focusing on the good We're telling what they are doing good, and we are describing what should you pursue. And every time you do something towards that goal, we give positive feedback. We are not focusing on the negative instead of positive feedback. And like Lotta said, we have a teacher assessing the students, giving feedback. We have self-evaluation and also peer-to-peer evaluation. And sometimes we also ask from the parents, how do you see that? So we have different perspectives from different individuals. So it's not just the teachers saying that you get a B- or something. And we are trying to focus more on the quality, not the quantity of the assessment.
So and then if you found that you classify or categorize the group of students that this one is the best one and this one is a weak one, and how do you approach with the better one and the weakness one, how to approach with the two groups?
Well, leveling students in a classroom is very much, it's not totally prohibited, but it's not recommended. But instead, the teacher should know each and every student very well in order to be able to provide individualized teaching. We don't like put students in groups and say, this is the best group, this is the medium group, and this is the worst group. No, we don't do that. We used to do that some decades ago, but we realized that it is not what we are really wanted to have to happen in the society. So it is like individualized teaching. Of course, those who are developing very fast, they need to have more. They are of course, they need to have progress. And also those students who cannot learn that fast need to be supported. But this needs to be done in an individualized way instead of putting children in different categories, which may be stigmatizing, labeling them for ages, and so forth.
And having the students being part of designing the students' individual path. So the students can actually be part of setting the goals, deciding the working methods, and being part of the designing the whole path, like you say. So if we give the students opportunity to being part of the whole learning process, they have more inner motivation. And if the student has inner motivation, the learning is going better.
Yes, there's no use. It's not worth keeping a student in a classroom when if he or she is totally unwilling to learn and hates what's going on in the classroom. So it's better to take a conversation with them, with their parents, perhaps a counselor if it's needed, but it's not always needed. But to try to figure out, well, how could we motivate you? If a child is very young, of course not. We can ask them, well, what do you want to do now? I want to eat ice cream. No, that's not the way we do it. But it's always age-appropriate discussion. You know you need to have certain learning goals. You need to learn certain entities. But how to do it, how we could manage it, what could be your future path, that is negotiated together with the student.
It has changed the role of the teacher, not just to say what to do, but instead of giving opportunities and possibilities and alternatives, what to do, what do you want to do. We visited Tonkla school and there was, I hope I remember it right, how it was translated that the teacher is like a gardener. Yeah, and giving water and sun and light to the student so the students can grow. Was it right? Yeah, I remember it right.
Can I amplify a little bit more?
Yeah, thank you.
That the teacher act as a gardener. We expect small tree. We don't tell them what to do. We just provide food, water, fertilization, and so on. Only let them grow by themselves. We cannot grow tree. You just can go by itself. We cannot grow them. We just provide the facility. We will act like somehow like a platform, and then they can dance. We can dance. We cannot dance for students. Only student can dance, but we school act like a platform. We are like a soil. We are like soil. We are the water. That's all. Something like that. We don't believe in just a bit more. Okay. In my preference, I'm not a big fan of knowledge. I'm a big fan of learning new things. Somebody said that knowledge is not a wisdom. Many people say that. I agree. In my preference, I said, once again, my personal opinion. Knowledge is not a wisdom, but knowledge often pretends to be a wisdom. We are not victim of knowledge. Thank you very much. Just want to share a bit more why we call our teacher as a gardener. We have the loom and we say the gardeners inside. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your beautiful words. It's really nicely said.
Thank you.
Ajahn Anek, I have some question for you. I would like to know that because from the beginning that Dr. Narong introduced us.
Actually, I'm the one who always search from information and check on the social network all the time, and I've seen a lot of information about Finland, and even in just Google, and the first page it says Finland education the best in the world, which is actually really impressive, and I feel like I've never been to Finland before. I just searched from the internet, and this is my first time to be a part of the Finland education here. So actually, I'm not sure what I'm going to ask. It's a question that has been discussed already or not, but actually I really admire Finland. Like I said, when they talk about Finland education, so it's the best. I'm not sure how best it is, but actually it's the best, and we talk about Finland, it's the best all the time. So anyway, I actually they have talked about the curriculum already, right? But I want to know, according to that topic, global citizens. In my opinion, when I talk about global citizens, I know that the world has changed already. Everything that we have been taught has been changed already. It depends on the social context. I want to ask you, how do you help students to be themselves? I mean, in terms of jobs, because nowadays we have new careers that happen in this world. Like for example, we have YouTuber, we have those who do the online marketing, they sell things on the internet, everything. And it seems like long time ago they thought that was kind of like nonsense. It's impossible jobs that could occur in this world. But actually, we have witnessed that they become great, famous, and even make money on the internet already. And it becomes jobs, it becomes careers already. I want to know how, and it's connected to be yourself, to be oneself as well, because it's kind of like when you show yourself to YouTube, then you become yourself, and then you show yourself to the world. So how do you teach students to be themselves? Why sometimes you have to have students take the standardized test? I mean, in terms of, everything has to be standardized sometimes, right? But how can you help students to become themselves, encourage themselves to be themselves, so that they can go to the global citizens, which is actually changed already? I want to learn from them. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. The main thing is to know your strengths.
Right.
And I think I saw some of your strengths. I saw enthusiasm. I saw curiosity.
Yes.
I saw perspective.
Love learning.
A love of learning. Those are my ideas. What are your strengths? And and you should, and after training you will also know that, hey, these might be my strengths. Maybe the peers, other teachers can share, they have their ideas, what are your strengths and how they see you. Maybe your parents, at your hobbies, you're different. And if you gather different opinions, what are your strengths, you will know yourself better. And we created one tool, it's called Positive CV. Would you tell more about it?
Yes. Thank you so much for your kind interest and your question. Yes, it is utterly important to know yourself. When our grandparents were young, they pursued the same careers as their parents. If your mother was a baker, you became a baker, and full stop. That's it. Nowadays, we don't even know what kind of professions and what kind of occupations our children will have. We have no ideas. So the only way is to try to learn them know themselves. And it is a universal problem, because if you only get marks from your school from the subject maths, biology, history, they don't tell anything about yourself. And as Pasi just said, we have created a specific tool for that purpose. So the tool is called Positive CV. It is a documentation platform where all the achievements, all the merits, all the successes, different skills can be documented, like having pictures, video clips, statements, different kind of notifications from peers, from parents, from the school, and everywhere where you go, so that you know what you are. And of course, your own reflections on yourself are highly important, and they are appreciated in that documentation. And if you are applying for a job, what does the leader or the supervisor or the boss want? He wants to show what kind of person you are in addition to your academic and your professional knowledge. And that is one reason why we developed this tool. We will be very glad to share the specific ideas of the tool with you later on.
And I think we are coming here to Chiang Mai for the next 2 years, like a few times a year, and we are eager to visit also with you again and tell us more about the concrete actions and our tools and how they could help you with your mission and your vision.
Thank you very much for sharing us a lot of information, okay? I can catch up some word, no child left behind. It's very meaningful word. Okay, next time, I would like to invite Brother Director of Mumford College to deliver a thank you speech, please.
Mixing the time is too short. We need some more days to talk about Finland education. Okay, on behalf of Mumford College, I would like to thank you, both of you, Dr. Reita Ushitaro. I don't know whether it's right.
Nicely.
Kotirainen.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, who provide us this auspicious opportunity to learn from you and to host this memorable day and bringing us our new angle of education. We can never forget to thank Dr. Narong Kongpasert, the Honorary Consul of Finland in Chiang Mai,